Everyone, welcome back to the channel at the Colt Range here in Verulam near Durban. And today I'm going to be testing out the latest offerings from Freedom Seeds bullets. What we've got here is their latest 150 grain heads and 124 grain heads. They look really good. They look really nicely made. So I'm looking forward to testing them. What I'm going to be doing today is just first of all a zero at various distances. Then I'm going to do a few of my general training exercises just to see how they hold up in terms of consistency and feel. So let's give it a go, see how they work out. Okay, this morning I'm out at the Broadway Shooting Club. I'm going to be doing some testing on the 124 grain coated heads from Freedom Seeds, as well as the CMJs which I've just received. I'm also going to be comparing them in terms of smoke output to a competitor brand, which I've been used for a long time. Very happy with these. These are coated, and then also these are coated, and then also another well-known competitor brand of CMJ heads. What I'm doing specifically today is I'm looking for how much smoke do these rounds put out. So I'm going to be shooting almost directly into the sun, into a target with a dark background. This is about as good a test as you get from this. So let's get going and let's see what the results we get. Now the 124 grain powder coated rounds from Freedom Seeds. Freedom Seeds 124 CMJs. And lastly, this is a well-known competitor brand, CMJs. Okay, I haven't had a look at the footage of this yet, but honestly, from a shooter's eye perspective, they all look pretty much the same. You're talking two really well-made types of coated heads and two really well-made types of CMJ heads. Shooting into the sun like this, I'm not really noticing one to being any different to the other. We'll have a look at the footage, but I don't think it's going to be pretty conclusive in one way or another, other than they're all very good. Absolutely no issues. Okay, still shooting into a dark background. The sun is climbing a little bit, but it's still getting relatively quite a lot of smoke. normal for the shooting conditions, but let's see if we can shoot some doubles into some small plates and see if I have any problems still remaining my target acquisition. So checking on the quality control on the manufacturing process of the Freedom Seeds, with a trusty vernier caliper, I measured the coated rounds at 356 and the CMJ rounds at 355, which is exactly as advertised. The average weight of the coated rounds for me came out at 124.5, and the CMJ rounds slightly heavier at 125.5. The additional weight is actually a benefit. Obviously, you're getting a little bit more weight for your money, but also what I use that to do is to build in a buffer for when I use such rounds in competition. So, for example, a 124 grain round at 1,050 feet per second gives me a 130 power factor. If I work on that, but that bullet weighs 125.5 at the same velocity, that actually gives me a real power factor of 131.8. So that's a nice buffer to have in there when you're changing province to go and shoot. You might be at different elevation, you might be at different atmospheric conditions, different temperatures. So that buffer is always a welcome thing to have. The coating on both the CMJs and the polymer coated rounds is applied equally and consistently, and I never found any rounds which had inconsistencies or bumps. So having spent some time with the new Freedom Seeds heads, I've shot about 2,000 of the 124 grains. I've shot about 300 of the 150 grains. I've found them to be accurate, consistent. The smoking is absolute minimal in environments where smoke makes a difference. And I can honestly say that they're very, very comparable to well-known and respected competitive brands that I've used. I've trained with these bullets. I've shot 4 matches with them, both indoors and outdoors. I haven't had a single problem. My overriding opinion of the new Freedom Seeds 124 and 150 grain heads is get out there and buy some.